to derive this, it's a quotient rule. And during the quotient rule, when you derive the bottom, you're going to have to use chain. So, to get y prime, it's a quotient rule. Be nice and long here. The bottom's going to be squared, which is, that one's actually kind of nice. When you square a square root, won't the square root drop off? Yeah. The top, you derive the top, which is 1. Leave the bottom. Okay. That's the first piece. Minus. Leave the top. And then derive the bottom. And here's where it gets ugly. Now, what you have to realize, this might help you. I'm going to write this. You might want to write this or see this as that. The bottom might be easier to see as a half power. You might want to always change square roots to half powers. It's easier to see the chain. But when we do that, this is going to be a 1/2 power. Leave the inside. So you take the 1/2, put it out front, leave the inside, subtract 1 from 1/2, you get negative 1/2. And you have to multiply by the inside, because the inside derived is 4x to the third. So that is where it gets ugly, is that second piece. Let's simplify this. This is going to get kind of weird. But basically the first piece is easy. Now here's what's going to happen is you have a 1 underneath here. Do you see right here you're going to have a denominator? So what's going to happen here is I'm going to actually have to multiply top and bottom. You'll see something. Minus this one, when you multiply the x times this gives you this times this, and a 4 times a 2 times a 1/2. It looks like there's going to be 1/2 times 4, isn't that 2? So you have a 2 here, and x times x to the third is x to the fourth. And don't you have x to the fourth plus 4 to the 1/2? So this second piece is right here in blue. The first piece is right here in light blue. And here in green, what I did is I had to find a common denominator. So I was looking ahead, trying to squeeze in the common denominator. And on the bottom, a square root squared is simply going to be x to the fourth plus 4. Now this is the top divided by this. Now when you multiply this times this, it's kind of nice. You're left with simply x to the fourth plus 4. That's the first piece. Since they have the same bottoms, I can now subtract this, which is 2x to the fourth. They have the same bottoms, so it's x to the fourth plus 4 to the 1/2 power. And isn't all of that over this x to the fourth plus 4? Okay, so this right here, when I did the tops, these two multiply, give me this. This comes together. This is now the bottom, the denominator. And under all of it is just this. Now, next, it's a fun one. This is kind of really ugly. Doesn't this, when you divide by this, don't you flip and multiply? So won't this go to the denominator here? This jumps in with the denominator, leaving you x to the fourth plus 4, 1/2 times, when you have a half power and then the same inside, times a 1 power, you're going to get, you add the powers, so it's 3 over 2 power. 1/2 plus 1, this is to the first power. And when you combine the tops, it looks like I get a 4 minus x to the fourth, because x to the fourth minus 2x to the fourth. And I believe that is your answer.